Okay, let's raise that question. Can Air India really afford another pilot strike? That's the question we want to raise with Jitendra Awad, who is leading the Indian Pilots Guild, but he's also a member of the Legislative Council and belongs to the Nationalist Congress Party, and Jitendra Bhargava, former Executive Director of Air India. Appreciate your joining us on our face-off. Mr. Jitendra Awad, barely a month ago, Air India gets what? A 30,000 crore bailout for the national carrier. And now within a month, you are forcing pilots to go on strike. What is the message you are sending out? In peak tourist season, Air India is cancelling flights.
First of all, Rajdeep, it is not Jitendra Awad who is forcing them to go on strike. It is a common unanimous resolution passed by the pilots to go on strike.
No, you belong to the guild. Let's be clear. You are heading that guild.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm heading that guild. That doesn't mean that I have a dictatorial control over the guild. And the guild was not floated in Bombay. This is the only recognized international union from the days when the Tatas used to run the airline. We are proud that Ratan Tata is a member of this union when Ratan Tata was a pilot. So it is not that it is floated or this union has been formed just 3-4 years back. This is a historical union in the aviation industry. Now the problem is that when you speak of industrial crisis and you speak of economic crisis in Air India, let me tell you that our pilots did not get salary for 6 months. Nor did once we cry and go to the management and say that if you are not going to pay for the work we have done, we will agitate or go on strike.
You haven't gone on strike because you haven't got salaries. You've gone on strike because you want first class tickets to go abroad, you want time bound promotion. The issues you've raised have nothing to do with salaries.
Rajdeep, let me explain. When you are talking of economic crisis, we should also think of the financial implications. When we did not get salaries, which were our right because we were working, we did not cry, we did not agitate, we did not go on strike. Can the managing director, executive director of the airlines claim that we did not get our salaries? They got their salaries in time. It were the sweepers, the loaders and the pilots and the air hostesses and the purses at all levels who were not getting their salaries. But the airline was performing. The survival of the airline is thanks to the employees who were working on each level without salaries. Now the problem is that for last 5 days, the executive director industrial relations, executive director operations and the general manager training is talking to the boys on certain issues which are there is a point of contention. They come to a draft, they finalize the draft, they send the draft to the CHMD and then CHMD returns back and says that this draft is not agreeable.
But why go on strike? You know, the bottom line, and Jitendra Bhargava, maybe you want to come in. You know, why is it that Air India's pilots go on strike so frequently? We've seen private airlines also facing crises, but we don't see this mentality of going on strike at the slightest as we see with Air India. What's the difference?
Rajiv, there is no denying the fact that employees, including pilots, can have a grouse, maybe upset on certain things committed to them but not honored by the management. But is that provocation enough to go on a strike, disrupt the flight schedule, inconvenience passengers? Now the whole world is today asking how legitimate can their demand be to warrant disruption of flights after the government has injected 30,000 crore to keep it operationally alive. Now people were critical of this bailout given by the government, and today IPG has given a very valid argument to all the critics who had questioned the wisdom of the government in giving them the money. Now Mr. Awad may say it was a general body decision. The question is 787. They have shown faith in the court. They went to the Bombay High Court and over to the Supreme Court. Now, if they were so aggrieved at management not having honored their time-bound promotion issue, there was no reason why they could not have gone to the court for redressal of this complaint. Why take to the streets?
You know, that's
why disrupt flights?
You know, Mr. Awad, that's the bottom line. Mr. Awad, what is it that forces your Air India pilots to go on strike at the slightest? Why go on strike? Aren't there other ways that you can resolve it?
I can't hear you, Rajiv.
Well, why is it that you all go on the strike at the slightest? Isn't there other ways you can resolve this issue?
Rajdeep, let's not spread rumors. Indian Pilots Guild had gone on strike in 2000. This is 2012. In 12 years, not a single day of agitation is registered against IPG. Indian pilots guilds have not gone on any agitation or have gone through any agitation.
Other pilots guilds of Air India have. So other pilots associations have.
I am talking about the
let me
union.
just correct.
Yes, Mr. Bhargava. Yes, Mr. Bhargava.
Rajdeep, let me just correct him. It is wrong to say that they haven't gone on strike since the year 2000. In 2003, April is when they went on a strike on the issue of SARS, and that is when the management had gone on a crackdown, de-recognized IPG. So, and for 4 years subsequently, the IPG was not a recognized body.
Yes.
To say that they have maintained total harmony is wrong. The question is, you are still wanting to live in the past legacy of Air India, where unions want to dictate to management what is right for the airline and not allow the Air India management to show what is right to be done.
Mr. Jitendra Bhargava, can I ask you a simple thing?
Yes.
That Captain Berry was caught stealing liquor from the Prime Ministerial carrier. He still continued to be the OSD of the chairman. Will you please support this? Captain Soman was out of turn given promotion. Will you talk about the management's behavior in Air India?
No, hold on. Is this in a sense?
Don't please accuse your employees. Don't please accuse your employees of armed things. We will not pay our salaries for 6 months.
No, is it?
We worked.
No, is it at the end of the day?
And the survival
is there a
of
mentality?
Allow me.
Is there a breakdown? Is there a breakdown, Mr. Bhargava?
Not to the management.
Is there a breakdown, Mr. Bhargava, in this public sector unit between the pilots and the management? No trust in each other.
Rajdeep, let me respond to the questions. You raised a very specific point.
Yes.
You can please Google and look at my comments when Captain Berry was caught pilfering liquor.
Yes.
What I had said to the media at that time, I stand by it.
What did the management do, Mr. Bhargava? What did the management do, Mr. Bhargava? Captain Berry was in services till Mr. Jadhav was working. He was absolutely controlling the chairman's office. What did you people do? What did the management do? A person is caught stealing liquor from the Prime Minister's carrier and nothing happens in the management. What kind of management is this?
No, let Mr. Bhargava respond. Mr. Bhargava, is this a breakdown completely of trust?
Right, number one.
Yes.
Listen to me. Do two wrongs make a right? That's one point. Second, if he was being encouraged to be in the CMD's office, that was CMD's decision. Nobody could have questioned that decision. But don't forget, when Mr. Rohit Nandan had come and earlier Mr. Raghu Menon had come, they had removed him. The way he came back is a different matter, and why he came back, I'm fully with you.
Hold on. I'm going to ask both of you, and I have just 30 seconds left. First, you, Jitendra Award. The government has been tough this time. They are de-recognizing your union. They are sacking the pilots. Are you prepared for that? Because that is, in a public sector, this is unknown of. This is unheard of, which is why the pilots have got away in the past, because the management is forced eventually to take back pilots.
Rajiv, let me be clear that no management is going to say that the strike is legal. They are going to do everything possible on this earth to pressurize. They are spreading rumors that the pilots are returning, they are scared, they are reporting fit. Nothing of this sort will happen. The more you pinch them, the more will unite.
So the strike will continue? So the strike will continue?
1 minute. Rajiv, 1 minute. But looking at the passengers and looking at the adamant behavior of the management, I am folding my hands and requesting Ajit Singh ji to intervene. A man with a socialist background cannot just undemocratically look at the management's decision of derecognizing and victimization. It's a natural process. If they are agitating their own children, they have helped you. Without salary, they have worked for you. Call them and discuss and resolve the issue.
Mr. Bhargava, would you say the larger crisis is just the way Air India has been handled over the years and matters have come to the head? You can get all the bailouts you want, but the bottom line is still till management practices improve and change, problems like what we witnessed today will continue.
Rajdeep, there is no denying the fact that there are inherent weaknesses in the way Air India has been managed. I will go along with what Jitendra Awad says, that there are faults at the government, at the airlines management's end, but it still does not justify a strike. That's point number one.
Yes.
And then when you look at it from the perspective that the government is trying to ensure that Air India survives, and you still don't want to lend a helping hand, that's tragic from the airline's perspective.
We are ready with, Mr. Bhargava, you wouldn't have worked without salary for 6 months. and nobody in this world will work without salary for 6 months. We were perspiring in.
Okay,
How can anybody
Mr.
work?
Awad, I would still go on to say,
help the management to survive.
No, please don't harp. Please don't harp on the 6 months non-payment of salary, because it was not just 500 pilots of Air India who did not get the salary. There were 29,000 employees who did not get the salary. Has everybody?
But your managing director and executive directors were enjoying with salaries. But your executive directors and directors
even
were
executive directors have not got salary.
The keeper was not getting it.
Look, let me.
See,
Mr. Awad, please cross-check your facts. You cannot have a scenario where executive directors are paid and the employees are not paid. It cannot happen. And in case it has happened, I support with you that it should not have happened.
Okay, let's leave it at this. Jitendra Awad, Jitendra Bhargava, you both share the same name. I wish you could just be on the same, even though you are in different studios at the moment, if you could shake hands and find a way to resolve this crisis sooner rather than later. Thanks very much for joining us. Air India's travails continue.